Hey everybody out there, it's your boy Nerdicane back at it with Darth Vader number 6. Number 5 had the construction of his iconic red lightsaber. Um, this one is basically he's stuck in well, I don't want to say stuck. He has chosen the path of darkness, and he has a weapon. That's it. He's going forward from here. Um, Credit where credit is due. The staff is pretty much all the same, and I really like it. So that's where it should be. He should be doing this job. This guy should be, I don't know, working for BuzzFeed or something. That's the only of this, scroll. That's the only thing I would change. So, cut to Vader's suit, and if you've been following this, Vader just went through a vicious trial. He had to take on the Jedi Master Infala, who's basically his only job was training by himself and getting better and better and better at fighting. So we come to here, and this is a cool sequence where Palpatine's just like, okay, these droids are gonna fix your suit, you just hang out. And like instantly he feels the anger coming from Anakin, coming from Vader. I should stop calling him Anakin, he's Vader. And the Tinkerer in him is going to put his own suit back together, which is pretty cool. I don't think we've ever seen this level of Force use before. Mixed in with his tinkering skills. He's built things, but he's never done it with just using the Force to manipulate everything. I will skip a page so I don't get a strike. We get this shadowy cloaked figure slipping into the old Jedi temple, or the old library. And Palpatine tells him, hey, somebody's sneaking into the library. I need you to handle that. He goes in, and this guy is, he's pretty excited to be in there. And he's just confronted with this huge dark figure. They're both Sith. They both have red lightsabers, and they're both very skilled. And then you see the face reveal of him. I think this is the same species from the final battle of General Grievous. I cannot remember the name of that planet. In episode 3. God, it's escaping me. I can't remember it. If you remember it, somebody post it in the comments. That's what species he is. He's an Inquisitor. An Inquisitor is something that Disney sort of added to the lore. Mostly for their Rebels animated series. They needed a Sith, but they couldn't pull out the big one because that was just too big for this ragtag group of rebels. It would have lessened Vader if he was having trouble dealing with just one ship and one little group of rebels. So they needed another villain, and he sort of has a look of, if you remember the original look of Darth Maul. Some of the original concepts of Darth Maul were a female, well, sort of the Sith witches like, God, I'm balking on her name now. Asajj Ventress, that's it. She was the early prototype conceptual drawing of Darth Maul, and then they changed it to Darth Maul, and then they used that design a little later. Once again, these guys kind of look sort of like that conceptual art. He's got a whirling, gimmicky lightsaber. It's kind of stupid. You probably have a better chance of cutting something you didn't mean to cut with a weapon like that. They seem evenly matched, and then at the end you kind of realize that Vader was just testing his suit and just kind of toying with him. And Palpatine shows up and stops him. This dude's totally confused because, he works for Palpatine, and he didn't know. He didn't. Once again, I guess Palpatine's not really telling people about Vader because the guards didn't know about it. The Inquisitor didn't know about it. Beautiful scene here where the Emperor introduces him as the Grand Inquisitor, and instantly Vader just starts roasting him. He's saying "grand" in quotation marks. I like that moment. It's tiny, but I thought it was kind of funny. So these guys are, well, like I said, the Inquisitors are new, but if you ever followed the Old Republic, which I loved the Old Republic stories, Inquisitor was a thing back then, a little more. It wasn't what it is now. These are sort of like Palpatine's personal semi-Sith security force, kind of a special forces team. But this plays into the lore, into the original lore, was that a Sith master, not only is he going to test his apprentice, his prize apprentice, he's always going to have these guys in the background training. He's always going to have other Sith apprentices in case, his main apprentice fails or dies. You saw this with, in episode 1, we thought Darth Maul was the main guy. You kind of realize later that he wasn't, and Dooku was. Dooku was the guy who was more of the diplomat, the one who could lead a movement, who could lead the army to take on the Republic. Darth Maul was just attack, brutality. That's what he was. It served the purpose that he needed him for, but he was never going to be at the Emperor's side ruling the galaxy. The original plan was for Dooku, and there's always been speculation that the original plan was for Obi-Wan to be at his side, but then he winds up with Anakin, and that's where we end it. Vader, Palpatine's sort of handing these over to Vader to train, and they're going to become his personal assassin force, and they're going to go track down an old lady and try to kill her. I believe this is the librarian from the Jedi Library, the Jedi Archives. I can't remember her name, but I think she's just popped back up, and now they're going to use her again. Good book. It's a bit of a setup issue. I kind of liked that Vader has taken over maintenance of his suit. It firmly establishes where the pecking order of Vader. Oh yeah, also I did want to point out this panel here is Vader like just asking, hey, if this guy had killed me, he probably would be up here next to you, right? And that's sticking with the rule of two. There's always a master and an apprentice, and the master always has to challenge the apprentice to his limits, and then the apprentice always has to be working to overthrow his master. And that kind of plays into it as well. It's keeping with lore, it's keeping with what's established, it's respecting Star Wars, and coming from Marvel nowadays, respecting what's come before is a nice thing to see. So that's it. I think I'm up to date. I'll check tomorrow. Tomorrow's comic book day. Speaking of comic books, I got some comics here I'm going to go throw in the local library. Maybe the kiddies will pick them up, and maybe we'll pick up some new comic book fans for the future to keep the industry going. But that's my review, Darth Vader 6. I'm Nerdicane. Hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I missed anything. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it. And you all can always come talk to me on Twitter as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.